गणपतये नमः। ॐ गणपतये नमः। ॐ गणपतये ॐ
गणेश मंत्र। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गणपतये नमो नमः। श्री सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः। अष्टविनायक नमो नमः। गणपति बाप्पा मोरया।
गणपतये नमो नमः। श्री सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः। अष्टविनायक नमो नमः। गणपति बाप्पा मोरया।
ॐ गणपतये नमो नमः। श्री सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः। अष्टविनायक नमो नमः। गणपति बाप्पा मोरया।
ॐ गणपतये नमो नमः। श्री सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः। अष्टविनायक नमो नमः। गणपति बाप्पा मोरया।
Om Shanti. Good morning to you all. It's a beautiful Sunday, and I know majority of you are going to be busy with the Havan today. But let's do this as well. We all need this. We've invited Dr. Arjun Dave and talking about Vedanta. Why? Is somebody trying to record?
Yes, madam. This is Dr. Arjun Dave here, and I have started the recording.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about Dr. Dave. He has earned a Doctor of Philosophy degree in English subject from Saurashtra University, Rajkot in the year 2016. He's earned Masters of Arts of degree in English subjects, and not forgetting this was done in the year 2012. He's also earned Bachelors of Arts degree in English again in 2012. and the Bachelor of Journalism degree from Saurashtra University in 2017. And to talk all about him, I rather just invite him and start off his introduction himself. So, Dr. Dave, all yours. And also for safety database protection, we will just focus on Dr. Dave. So nobody will be focused on our recording. Thank you again. All yours, Dr. Dave.
Namaste. Pranam to all. At the outset, I thank Vannaji for having me with you all and allowing me to interact with you all. The area which we are supposed to explore today, Vedanta literature and Vedanta philosophy, is more than an ocean. So I'll try my best to justify the area given to me. Before we began, we were praying to Lord Ganesha, and in India, we are celebrating, across the world, we are celebrating the Ganesh Chaturthi and Ganesh Murti Sthapan. So I would like to start with the prayer. I will request you all to join with me. We shall fold our hands and we may pray to Lord Ganesha, Mother, and the Almighty. ओम गणानन् त्वां गणपतिं गों हवामहे निधीनं त्वां निधिपतिं गों हवामहे प्रियानन् त्वां प्रियपतिं गों हवामहे वसो ममजासि गर्भदम् ओम स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो रथसवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति न रक्षो अरिष्टमेहि स्वस्ति न ब्रह्मस्पतिर्दधातु सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्धसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते ओम शांति शांति शांति। Rigveda says, Samgachadvam samvadadvam samvo manasi janatam. There are a couple of verses in Rigveda which says that let's come together, let's live together, let's be together, let's have food together, let's walk together, let's think alike. Today's meeting is one of such like-minded people's meeting. I'm not an expert or any authority to talk on Vedanta, but we shall together explore what Vedanta is, what Vedanta literature is, what Vedanta philosophy is. Rigved said very rightfully that we be at any place, but if we are mentally together, the way we are here virtually gathered, the same way you people must be gathering at your places, we would be gathering at our places. This gathering is very important because we need to be like-minded. The collective energy, the collective power that will enable us to bring the good things on this earth, to the universe, to our new generations, to our present generations. So being together is very important. Vedanta is fundamentally, if we define Vedanta, the end of Veda, which is a literal meaning, very much literal meaning. If we go by word, then it is like that, end of Veda. But if we see the actual meaning, if we see the word Vedant itself, then it showcases us that Vedanta is something which is a wisdom, which is a knowledge, which we have ended from Vedas, which we have derived from Vedas, which we have churned from Vedas. So the practicing of churning, Samudra Manthan, the very much historic moment, very much spiritual moment, very much religious moment of Hindu culture and Hindu philosophy. Samudra Manthan, we are doing the same thing. We are doing Manthan of thoughts. We are doing Manthan of Vedanta. So when I was graduating myself, I used to read to Swami Vivekanand. I used to visit to Ramakrishna Ashram. We have a very beautiful ashram in Rajkot. If somebody is from Gujarat, they might know. Uh, at that time, I encountered with the philosophy of Vedanta, and I realized this is something which our ancestors have gifted us thousands of years back and guided us that how can we live, be it Kali Yuga, be it Dwapar Yuga, be it Treta Yuga, be it Satyug, be it any Yuga, irrespective of time, irrespective of if you see the consistency of this knowledge, it's very much relevant in today's time. It was similarly relevant before some 1,000 years. So I started journey in reverse. I'm sharing this because I'm suggesting we may go that way also. We may start from Vedas, Rigved, Yajurved, Samved, and Atharvaved, or we may begin with Swami Vivekanand just 200 years back. If we go Swami Vivekanand, then we go to Adi Guru Shankaracharya. He was on this planet for around 6th century. He was here, and he is the man who has survived the Hindu scriptures, Hindu culture. Today we talk about Upanishads, Vedanta, Brahma Sutra because of him. He has did immense work. We will talk about him as well. Then we go to Vedic Yuga. It has spanned over more than 1800 to 1900 years in the history of India. The India has lived, Bharat has lived in Vedic Yuga for more than 18 to 1900 years. I'll tell you one very interesting thing. Since last couple of years, the Indian historians, Indian educators, Indian administrators have changed their focus over history. Now we are reworking on our history. We are changing the mistakes. We are focusing over the actual history of India. So the figures which I am stating right now is based on the colonial history. So it may change in couple of years, and this would be very proud moment when it comes up. So if we go by today's history, if we go by colonial history, then it was 1800 to 1900 years of period between somewhere BC 2500 to 700. It ended 2700 years back, the Vedic Yuga. And today we are talking about it because it teaches us the art of living. How do we survive in present time? What is the need of Vedanta? So first we have discussed what we are discussing. We are discussing Vedanta school of philosophy. Vedanta literature is part of this school, the school of philosophy. And as you all are aware that India is one of the oldest civilization which has adopted philosophy somewhere 5 to 6,000 years back, even before Greek civilization. So this Vedanta literature would come. First, we will understand Vedanta school of philosophy. So we are introducing ourselves with the core idea of Vedanta philosophy, its fundamental text, that is literature, and why it is significant. So being very younger to you all, I request you to ponder over these issues, that why do we need Vedanta in today's time? Are we looking for our solutions? Is it finding us the solutions of our present problems? Yes, it is finding us the solution to our problems. If we are not capable, even I'm not capable to read Vedas or interpret it, then Vedant is here to help me to understand Ved, Vedic features, Vedic philosophy, Vedic literature, Vedic ways of living. It gives us a spiritual reason to study Vedanta. It gives us the joy of fulfillment. We may attain the fulfillment or peace or integrity with our own self, our own soul. First, we have to attain the integrity with our soul. Once we are done with it, then we would certainly find everybody alike. We would not just be empathetic, but we would be feeling that my soul and somebody else's soul are same. My soul and my ultimate God, whom I'm praising, whom I'm pursuing, our soul is our same. We are not different. We are the one and all. So the notion of being part and parcel of the entire universe, the entire positive energy, the entire uh, humanity, we say, when we talk about brotherhood, very fundamental thing we have given to the entire world, and we are following at ourselves also. So first, brotherhood we need to follow with our soul, then comes to our peer members, fellow members residing in society in on this planet, who are the contemporary people to us. The another reason why should we go for Vedant philosophy, why should we talk about Vedant literature, why should we discuss it? We may find a very important person on this planet, very important person, very lovely person, our own self. We may find our own self. Vedanta fundamentally takes us. It handles us and takes us to ourselves. We may find, who am I? The question can be answered, who am I? Why am I here? What am I doing? For what am I traveling on this planet Earth? So this very important aspect of knowing self. I am not able to resist myself to tell you a very beautiful story. There was in 5th to 6th century in India. It's a real the story. In 5th to 6th century of India, 8-year-old boy, just 8-year-old boy, graduated himself, learned everything about all 4 Vedas. He has mastered everything about Ved and Vedas. Then he was told by a priest, by a saint, that you have ultimate knowledge, that is fine, but you don't have any guru. You need to become somebody's disciple. Then you attain the ultimate moksha. The person started finding who can be the guru. Very very knowledgeable, very brilliant disciple. So it was very difficult for all those contemporary gurus to give him diksha and make him the disciple. So he used to visit so many gurus, so many people, and one fine day, after 3 years, almost 2 to 3 years, when he was 10 or 11, he came to know there is only one person existed on this planet who can give him diksha. He was Govindacharya, and he lived on the river bank of Narmada. So he started his journey. This young boy of 10, 11 years started his journey from Kerala, today's Kerala, to Gujarat, and the border of Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, where Guru Govindacharya was residing with his disciples. He had his ashram over there. So he has traveled all the way from Kerala to Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh border. He reached over there. He went to Govindacharya's ashram, and he inquired with someone over there that where do I see Govindacharya ji? So he said, Guruji is in Samadhi. He is having his meditation. we don't know when he may come out from his meditation. You may stay here. You may have your food. You may do your worships and everything. So he said, no, I don't have time. I need to meet immediately. So the ashram fellow told Shankaracharya ji, this young man, young boy, that he is doing meditation. Govindacharya is doing meditation in that cave. So he immediately went over there. He stood on the door of cave and in folded hand mudra, he said that Guruji, accept me as your disciple. He didn't even thought to have some formal words. He immediately said that Guruji, make me your disciple. I want to be your disciple. Have me as your disciple. Govindacharya saw this young little boy and asked. It's a very common question we usually ask to so many people. Who are you? He asked simply, who are you? That means he asked for his introduction. It's very much fundamental thing we in communication. We do it every day with so many people. He simply asked, who are you? And Shankaracharya answered, Naham Manushyo Nacha Deva Yaksho. The entire there is a entire conversation in verses between Shankaracharya and Govindacharya. He said, I translate in English. He said, I am not a human being. I am not God. I am not Gandharva. I am not Yaksh. I am the ultimate Almighty. I am the Brahma. The concept of Aham Brahmasmi has been derived in Indian philosophy when Shankaracharya was of 11 years. After listening to the introductory answer of this young boy, the Govindacharya was all in tears. He said, Shankar, I was waiting for you since last 700 years. Shankar, I was waiting for you. Could you have come? The same day, he accepted him as the disciple. For couple of years, very few months, he stayed with Govindacharya, and then Govindacharya said that you are already a learned man, you are already an avatar. Now, what you need to do is you need to travel the entire Bharat and teach people Vedanta. So Sankaracharya ji wrote. By the way, there are 200 approx 200 Upanishads. Upanishad is which makes us understand Vedas, the explanatory notes of the knowledge, wisdom of Veda. Maximum of them are contributed by Adi Guru Shankaracharya. He lived for 31 or 32 years. By the time he has traveled by foot entire Bharat, not today's Bharat, the Akhand Bharat, he traveled. He traveled entirely. He established 4 mutt. He has contributed some hundreds of scriptures. I'm sorry. So my point here is somebody who realized at the age of 8 went on searching it further. He has understood Ved and he knew the contemporary situation. So for us, for the fellow human beings, he has created the whole lot of literature in Vedanta tradition. He is one of the pioneers of Vedanta literature. There are more people too, but his contribution is something which has given the light to the entire tradition, entire philosophy. We say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is part of Vedas. We say Aham Brahmasmi. We believe this concept. Aham Brahmasmi, my soul and the soul of ultimate, God, Almighty. mother are same. We are not different people. Me and you are same. We are not different people. This concept has survived India. I personally believe that this is my personal belief. You may agree, disagree on this. I believe that this belief has allowed India to survive during 800 to 900 years of colonial duration. Mughals and British rule could not destroy the Indian culture, Indian philosophy, because we believe that I am the part and parcel of the godly system. I am God. I am the uh, I'm not just the worshipper of God, but I am the part of this Almighty. That's why we need to learn, we need to discuss, we need to explore Vedanta. We may go one step ahead, thinking of somebody else. We need to take this philosophy into consideration, this literature into exploration, because we need to pass this to our young generations. It is our moral duty, being the parents, being the citizen, being the part and parcel of the system. It is our very much duty that we pass on this to our younger people. It is in their benefit. It's not that we want to continue or we want to rule the world or we want to be supreme authority. It's not like that. It is the art of living. It's has nothing, Veda and Vedanta has nothing to do with religious things. It has everything to do with spirituality. So if we see Hindu culture, we don't say Hindu religion, we say Hindu culture. If we see at the Hindu culture, we have solutions to each problems. It is said about Mahabharata that across the world, if anything is there or if everything is there, it is there in Mahabharata. If anything is not there in Mahabharata, then that thing does not exist on this planet. You see the capability of a saint, a scripture writer who could imagine the situations of entire world for thousands of years, not about some 20, 30, 40 years. We are planning about something 50 years, 100 years. The national leaders of all the countries, they may think over these things up to 50 to 100 years. Our saint has visualized some thousand years situations, people, their requirement, their mindset, their issues, and given solution. So this is why we should have Vedanta with us. We should go to Vedanta. We should explore it. And how do we do it? How do we explore it? Very simple things are there. We may read Vedanta literature. We may listen to people. We may think over it, and we may dive deep into our own self. These are the very simple things, but practicing it requires some discipline in terms of being regular, in terms of making it more persuasive. We have to pursue it more. We need some self motivation. When Pandaji invited me to talk, I have to read. See, it's very much. So there are people around us who make sure that you go in right direction. Instead of watching reels and instead of going to the podcast, I could go to books. I could go to my previous references which I read in my early age. So so there are plenty of reasons. We have to create the reasons or we have to be more disciplined about it. These are the reasons why one should have this. The fundamental text of Vedanta, the today's topic is Vedanta literature. So there are three types of fundamental text of Vedanta literature, which can be said the highest authorities or the most authentic authorities over Vedanta. One is Upanishad, second is Brahma Sutra, and third is Bhagavad Gita. See, gradually, this is the sequence how they turn up. First came Upanishad, then came Brahma Sutra, then came Bhagavad Gita. The way you see, we our philosophers, our Rishimuni, our saints have reduced the size of the critical work on Veda, the understanding work of Veda. Upanishads are around 200. Out of them, certain are considered very important. So first comes Ved as the Vedanta literature, or the root cause primary text in English. It is called primary text. Four Vedas: Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Samved, Atharva Ved. Then comes Vedang. Vedang are the components of Veda. Vedant, which we are discussing, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, and Bhagavad Gita. Then comes Brahman Granth. Then comes Aranyak text. Then comes Pathdarshak. There is a tradition of the entire churning Ved to Pathdarshak. The entire tradition of churning out the crux, the wisdom of Veda. Munda Upanishad is considered one of the very important, Mundak Upanishad we say, right? Very important Upanishad. Very interesting fact is this Satyameva Jayate, the national slogan of India, Satyameva Jayate, is taken from Munda Upanishad. Vasudeva Kutumbakam is also taken from one of the Upanishads, and which is also part of Veda. So Upanishad is something refers as Vedanta itself. When some people talk about Vedanta philosophy or Vedanta literature, they directly talk about Upanishad, because so many scholars believe that Upanishad is part and parcel of this Vedanta literature. It is considered the most authoritative works. One day, Osho Rajneesh was delivering his talk on Ishavasya Upanishad. So he explained the very first verse, very first shlok of Ishavasya Upanishad, and he said that Rishi, the Upanishadkar, the author of Upanishad, says that this is the ultimate truth. He defines the truth. So somebody asked a question. Somebody asked a question that what are the other shloks mentioned in this Ishavasya Upanishad all about? Osho said it all define one thing, that is truth. Truth is one. It is defined in multiple ways. So the same curious guy asked again, if Rishi has already said that this is the truth, when he has defined it, why do he need to define it again and again in different ways, in multiple ways? Very interestingly, Osho Rajneesh answered that Rishi before some 1,000 years knew that we, the human beings, are made of such psyche that we don't believe in one time. Even if God is standing in front of us and says something, we don't believe. We need repetition. That's why we need to do all this Bhagavad and Ramayana kathas across the year by thousands of speakers. We repeatedly need to remind ourselves. We need to repeatedly tell to our fellow people that this is the truth. This is the truth. This we need to. I'm sorry. This is the truth. We need to repeatedly tell. And when somebody gets it, when somebody realizes, oh, this is the truth, that for that moment, we need to keep on repeating the things. We need, see, when we say this Vedanta literature, all Upanishad, all this Brahman Granth, all Aranyak, all Vedang, all Vedas talk about art of living, talk about truth, talk about nature. We have to be told repeatedly. That is the very much psychological reason these scriptures have been created over the period of time. The other is Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra has one more name, that is called Vedanta Sutra. So there are couple of books, couple of videos available, couple of talks available on Vedanta Sutras. It is same Brahma Sutra. Brahma is considered the ultimate, and the sutras, the dialogues, the wise words of those sutras are called Vedanta Sutras. Badrayan is a Rishi who has created, who has gathered these Brahma Sutras, Vedanta Sutras. It systematically tells us what Upanishad has taught us. So Brahma Sutra is further dilution of the knowledge, wisdom of Upanishad in more systematic, in more summarized, in more easy manner. It deals with various philosophical aspects. And it is, as I said, it summarizes very much coherent, very adequate, very small, very relevant. Our maximum literature are Hindu cultural, Hindu spiritual, Hindu religious literature you see, and you see the history of entire world. The very much beginning of all literature started in verse, in poetry, because it is very much coherent, it is very much short. A broad concept can be accommodated in few words. The Bhagavad Gita, very much known and very much discussed, but very less understood text of our spirituality, our culture. It contains only 700 verses, 700 shlok only, which is a mixture of a dialogue between Bhagavan Sri Krishna and his disciple, his favorite person, Arjun, a great warrior of Mahabharata time. Gita teaches the Vedantic philosophy. It derives Vedant literature, it derives Vedant philosophy in more summarized manner. It has talked very important aspects of Vedant philosophy, which can be, see, now it is important, which can be practiced by all of us, which is sensible to practice, which is feasible in today's time, in previous years, and in upcoming years, which is very much relevant and feasible. It is accessible to all of us, irrespective of our limitations. It talks about dharma, it talks about bhakti, gnan, karma, and dhyana. The five components, five major components of Bhagavad Gita. So I would like to discuss those concepts. Just a minute. Please pardon me for half a minute.
Panaben, it's okay.
I'm sorry. Banaji, you may tell me how much time do I have?
We finish at 10 o'clock. So if you want to do a little bit of talk and meditation as well, it's up to you.
So how many minutes? 15, 20 minutes are still there with me, or?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Oh, thank you. The five principal concepts of Bhagavad Gita: Dharma, Bhakti, Gnan, Karma, and Dhyan. We may derive on it in some next session. As I have committed that I'll talk about the Vedant literature and will provide the overview. We'll discuss one or two more aspects which are very relevant to this. So the key concept of entire Vedant philosophy, Vedant literature are three. Sorry, are five. It Vedant revolves around five core concepts. First is Brahman. Brahman, not about the caste or creed we are talking about. Brahman, the ultimate Brahman, the ultimate reality or absolute consciousness that is infinite, that is not changeable, unchanging, and beyond all the dualities, beyond all the thought process that God is different, I am different, this person is different, that person is different. It's not like that. Brahman, the concept of Brahman in Vedas and Vedanta literature, in Vedang literature, so it's a Brahman is considered source, is considered sustainer and end of everything in universe in terms of knowledge, in terms of wisdom. It is you might have heard this thousands or hundreds of times. Sat Chit Anand. Sat Chit Anand is definition or understanding of Brahman for all of us. So if you want to understand Brahman in easy terms, then it can be defined as Sat, which is truth, Chit, that is consciousness, and Anand, that is bliss. If we can perceive truth, if we can have the constant consciousness towards ourselves, toward our deeds, toward our words, toward our all actions, then we attain Anand, bliss. Anand is not something here, it's not about pleasure, it's not about enjoyment. That pleasure and enjoyment come from any activity. Say, for example, we may do some sports, we may talk to our beloved friends, we may we may read a novel, we may watch a movie, a web series, podcast. That is pleasure. The Anand which we derive from our own deeds, our conscious deeds, where our soul doesn't resist such deeds. For example, I'm talking and I'm literally enjoying. So this is the Anand I'm earning for this couple of minutes. So if we could do this continuously, if we can stretch our own limits by doing the conscious acts, by pursuing the truth, then it is very much the bliss state of mind, the Anand we derive. So first is Brahman, another is Atman. Atman is soul, is our self. Vedanta says that Atman is not different from Brahma. So our Atma and Brahma are same. That means we are the Brahma, which is I would say leading us to realization of the the oneness. It is a realization of oneness of our soul and our Brahma or God, the entire universe. There is one saying, tat tat tvam asi. It's a Sanskrit. Tat tvam asi. That means that thou art, that what you are, that what I am. Tatvam asi. Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi is sounds Sanskrit. The actual Sanskrit is Tattvam asi, derived in Gujarati, Hindi, and so many regional languages of India as Tattvamasi. I am that. I am that soul. I am that part. I am that component. That Tattva. I am that Tattva. This is derived from very much famous Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad, right? The third concept of Vedanta is, first was Brahma, another was Atman, third is Maya. We believe that God has created this metaphoric world. The metaphor, Maya is metaphor. I believe this is my office. You believe that is your home or your workplace. We believe my wife, my husband, my daughter, my son, my parents, my belongings, my property. That is called Maya. And see, I being into this generation, being into this century of knowledge, information, technology, and facilities, I believe Maya is very important. I said Pannaji invited. See, I gave you this example is very much relevant. I was in Maya and somebody has pushed me to go towards Vedant, towards myself, toward the learning of uh, Tattvamasi, toward the learning of uh, the uh, the self, right? So if Maya is there, then you get more chances to derive yourself towards, to churn this knowledge, to churn this understanding, to be here. So it is very important to have Maya. We usually in religious terms or in some talks we listen, even we discuss that we are stuck up in this Maya. It's not like that. It's not like that. It is very much important. It is very relevant, and that's why it is created. If it was not relevant, if it was not required, if we are doing some scene through Maya, then it was not created by the Brahma, not created by the Almighty. In other words, Maya is cosmic illusion. Some people say that this earth has the history of some 50,000 years, some say some billion of years, some million of years. We are we are trying to fetch the fact, but which is actually a cosmic illusion. See, understanding this, that what I am doing right now is part and parcel of cosmic illusion. If I believe that I am speaking and uh, I'm preaching people, I'm teaching people, I'm giving knowledge. No, it's part and parcel of Maya. If I be conscious, being conscious while doing any act, if I be conscious while doing XYZ work, then I be with my truth, my consciousness, I derive on my bliss, my anand, my ultimate joy. Moksha. Ultimate goal of Vedanta is moksha. But for that, you need to go through all these phases. We say liberation in English, right? Moksha is something we want to attain, which is the ultimate goal of all individuals, and all saints did the same thing. So one can do this realization of moksha, liberation, by itself, by oneself, by involving the Atma, by believing, by studying and practicing that I am the Brahma. I'm not different from Brahma. I am not different from God or godly people. I am the part and parcel of it. Moksha is something which is called freedom, freedom from this cycle of taking birth and death. I'm not the authority to say authoritatively that it is right or not, but if let's assume that if we start practicing Vedanta and all these learnings for attainment of moksha, whether we get moksha or not, we certainly get the anand, the blissfulness, the joy of being ourselves. That is very important. That is more than what we can expect from ourselves. There are three ways of getting this moksha. The fifth very important part of Vedanta, fifth and last one, the very important part of Vedanta, that is how do we attain this liberation? How do we attain moksha? There are three ways suggested. One is Gnan Yoga. Shankaracharya ji said that Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Bhud, Govindam Bhaj Mudamate, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Sayam Kale, Govindam Bhaj Mudamate. That is Bhakti. The first one was Gnan, which we see, if you want to see the example of Gnan Yoga, through practicing Gnan, through practicing the path of knowledge, if you want to derive moksha, you need to follow Bhagavad Gita. Arjun attained moksha through the lessons, preachings of Bhagavad Gita. That was Gnan. Adiguru Shankaracharya has practiced both the things. He did Gnan as well as Bhakti Yoga. So when it comes to Adi Shankaracharya, in initial years, I said by 8, he was competent to understand Vedas. By 11, he remembered everything. And by 31 or 32, he has spread the light of Vedant knowledge. So he has derived knowledge for himself. He has earned that knowledge and then he gave it to others. So Gnan Yoga is one of the very famous practices in Vedic time. I say 2500 BC to 700 BC. These centuries were considered in India as the history of Vedic Yuga. So during the Vedic period of time, the path of liberation was more famous. Part was Gnan Yoga. Then came Bhakti Yoga. When we were under the rules of Mughal and Britishers, our land has got so many great saints. From Gujarat we have Narsi Mehta. From Rajasthan we have Mirabai. From South we have Ramanujacharya and the other saints. we Guru Nanak Dev, the entire life you see of Guru Nanak Dev is nothing to do with direct gnan, direct knowledge, but he has did bhakti. He has did the best devotion. He had devotionally he did everything. There is a very beautiful shlok in Punjabi. It is about Guru, but it's a best example of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti is all about devotion, believing that I'm not an entity, but I am the part and parcel of my Lord, my worshipper, my worshipped God. जिन बिठरावे तित ही बैठू, जिन बिठरावे तित ही बैठू, जो पहनावे सोई सोई पहनू, मेरी उनकी प्रीत पुरानी, बेचे तो बिक जाऊं. In the same line and length, when it came to Mirabai, without taking a moment, she could have the poison in name of Krishna. The same way Bhakti Yoga is practiced by Sudama, the same way the Bhakti Yoga is practiced by Narsi Mehta. And the third comes is the third path of liberation, which is more easier for all of us, is Karma Yoga. The path of selfless action. Karma is not something that if I'm a teacher and if I teach, is my karma. If you are a businessman and if you involve yourselves in business, If you are a doctor and if you work on the health of your patients, that's literal meaning of karma. That's literal meaning of your action. But here, to attain liberation, karma is something which you need to do selfless. It's a only condition is you need to be selfless with all faith in Brahma. You need to do the karma. That is very easy way. You need to just practice it. You need, say for example, let's take one very beautiful example from our Indian houses. Usually the grandparents who are residing together with their son, daughter. When you have your grandchildren, you take care of those children, and all the action, all the efforts you put for those children are selfless. You would be enjoying that task. You are doing your duty, but still it's a selfless action. You are not expecting anything in return from that child. The moments which you live, the time you spend with these children gives you such beautiful experience, and the the anand. See, there is sat, there is chit, and there is anand. It's a combination of everything when you do such selfless action. When you there are people I have seen selflessly doing so many things. When you go out to feed the needy people, it's a selfless deed. When you help unknown person at any random place, in any random situation, be it small or bigger, that help is selfless deed. Then you are working on, then you are trying to attain the karma yoga, then you get these things, right? In next sessions, we may discuss on major schools of Vedanta. We may discuss that how historically it has come down, what is Advait, what is Dvait, what is Visishta Advait. We can discuss about the significant people who have contributed, including Adi Shankaracharya to Ramanujacharya and other great saints, philosophers of our tradition.
Arjunji, there is a question there.
Yeah, please. I have concluded this introductory session. We may have some, and I have a small request to make. I'll try my best to answer your questions. But as I previously said, I'm still learning a lot. So if I, in case I may not be able to answer your question, I'll get back to you with the answer. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a question saying, which book is easy to read where verses and meanings are given?
To start with, one should try to go for Bhagavad Gita. See, the only logic is in some families, I have observed in our culture that some people every day read one or two or some couple of verses, couple of sloks from Bhagavad Gita. Like we pray to God, like we say Om Bhurbhuva Swaha. When we chant along with those chantings, some people they don't bother about understanding. So our purpose is to understand Vedanta. Then we should go for this Bhagavad Gita. At least you can set a schedule that at least one or two sloks every day with meaning. When it comes to rereading, when time passes and when you complete the 700 verses, then you restart. You all individuals, including me, you realize that you are understanding it in a different and better way. So
Thank you.
repeated reading, yes,
Thank you.
May I ask a question,
please.
Dr.
Yes.
Dave? Vedanta is a very deep subject, but you've covered it very well as giving us a general outline. And I hope in future talks we will concentrate on each one. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is blessing, I would say rather.
It's interesting for me listening to you with your concept of what you have found, which you're going to give further to your children. Now, I'm making notes for my grandchildren when they ask me, uh, belief, and you say, "Oh, Grandma, you've got lion," and if I say there's lion in the garden, he has to prove to himself there's lion in the garden. So, these are the things they are asking. So, with you, the way you explained, I'll be able to explain few things to them better. So, I am so glad that as a young person, you're here for us grandmas to tell us what we can teach our grandchildren.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See, it's a mutual duty of mine and every one of us to pass on what we are getting, either be it any resource. If I was not there, it can be any other speaker or any book or any other way of understanding. But we are doing this selfless calm, which I said, for our own attainment, for our own enjoyment, the Anand. Thank you.
And being satisfaction, I would say, for
And
me.
being more than satisfaction. It's a state of being in a blissful mindset.
Okay. Very, very well said. Yeah.
I'll take one moment to give you example. So whenever I feel stressed or whenever I feel not in very much good mood with any reason, be it a social reason or professional reason, I chant this stotra of Adiguru Shankaracharya. Couple of sloks are my favorite. I chant it, and what do I see? I'm doing karma at that time. I'm not conscious that what I'm doing, but I'm doing calm of chanting such stotra, and in result, what do I get? The blissful state of mind. Yes, we may have some other questions. If we have any questions, please.
Any more questions? Pragnaji?
Yes, I was going to just re go through that. You said Brahman, Atma, Maya, and what else? Fourth one?
Just a minute. I have also prepared notes.
Brahman, Atman, and
Moksha.
Maya. And
Maya,
what was
and
the
fourth is moksha.
Yeah, what is more? Oh, so that's the fourth one.
Fourth is moksha, and to attain the moksha, we have three yoga: Gnana yoga, Bhakti yoga, and Karma yoga.
Karma Yoga. Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Was good. Very good. Basic knowledge of Vedanta and all these acharyas and Shankaracharyas. I've heard the names. It makes a little bit of more sense now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I would say the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
Salaman, you're muted.
No, I've got no question. I said thank you.
Okay, okay. Right, I must say, upacharya and all these big words is not going in until I keep listening to you. Probably I will digest
Again and
it.
again, yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
because all these big words in my time was not there for me. Thank you.
See, I would say to you all, Pannaji and everyone, that there is a huge mistake we all are doing in Indian tradition of education, Indian society, and Indian living, is we are focusing on the facts and the names and years and all. If Adi Guru Shankaracharya was born 5,000 years back or 500 years back, it doesn't make any difference to me. What makes difference to all of us is what he said and what we need to take from it.
Understand.
So
Yeah.
anything given under any title, even if I don't understand Vedant, when I started my company named Vedant in 2014, I was not much clear about Vedant. I just took it as a name, the way our parents have took our name. My name is Arjun, but I don't have any warrior qualities, right? So we need to take the crux, what touches us, what pleases us, for no reason, which makes us in state of anand. That is for us.
Hmm. Yes, it's very interesting, and obviously, um, the more you come and explain to us, we will digest it. Thank
Certainly, we
you
will try
very
to practice it.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you for having me.
And I apologize to everybody. We haven't had time for meditation, but surely we will do it once again with Arjunji. Thank you very much, Arjunji. That was
Thank you.
brilliant. Something new to learn. And like many of us, Vedant is something new for me. So, and for them probably as well. So, right from the root, we're trying to learn something which we want to teach our grandchildren as well. Thank you
Certainly.
again, and we'd
Certainly.
like to see you next week again and continue our session. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely, lovely weekend and take
Sure.
care. And we
So
should catch up
if
soon.
we miss the next session, will there be a little bit of recordings if we are not around?
I will. Yes. Thank you again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Arjunji.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Prabhuji.
Arjunji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Arjun
you,
ji.
Panna,
Thank
and thank
you,
you,
Arjun ji.
Anand. Excellent.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste, everybody. Take care. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Panaji.